Hello, hello. We're doing a combination video today because I've got a lot going on and I've got a lot I'd like to share. So, yeah, today is going to be both a makeup video and a HRT update. Today, I'm officially 8 months on testosterone. How cool is that? But I also wanted to do my makeup while I talk to you so it's less boring. I'm mostly just gonna do this part of my makeup and then I'll finish it off and come back. I also wanted to give you a good look at how my skin is doing since I will be talking about that. I'm gonna try to take a lot of high quality pictures. A lot of high quality pictures of my facial hair, of my acne, and different things that I'm going to be talking about so that I can insert them. Maybe at the end of the video or at the beginning, probably the beginning. But yes, I also wanted to just give you some realness of my skin right now, which it's actually doing really good right now because I've been de-stressing a little bit, but it's still rough. So my makeup and also my hair, actually I'm going to wear a wig, is going to be inspired by the custom Octane figure that I just painted. This is the Jax Pacific. I haven't glued him down 100% yet, so he's kind of floating around. But this comes in like a very boring skin and also a very pale skin tone, which Octane is pretty fair in a lot of his skins, but there are a couple of skins where they give him a nice little tan with his like pretty Hispanic skin, and I really wanted to give him a bit more color. So, and then I also painted his skin in some more vibrant greens. I even painted, which you can tell on the bottom, I didn't paint that, but I also just painted everything in brighter greens that I prefer. I even used a glossy seal on some parts and a matte seal on other parts. This is not the first Jax Pacific Apex figure that I have painted. I also custom painted a Bloodhound. I'm so proud of this one. They're holding a little RE45 that I even added a charm to, because this was actually, I turned this into an earring, but with my little stretched ear that I have right now, I'm not wearing earrings like that. But yeah, this is my Bloodhound one. I definitely am like super proud of this one. This is obviously like me if I was Bloodhound. Or maybe I would be in all black, but if I was like going for my like fuckboy aesthetic, you know, it'd probably have some color. But yes, today is going to be inspired by the Octane figure, so I'm going to do black and green, and I'm going to give myself some little dots that kind of represent his mask. And yeah, it's not going to be like, it's just going to be like vaguely inspired, because it's definitely made me miss having green in my hair, but I didn't want to commit to that. So let's get started. Let's get started. I only have so much time. So I really need to get a cute mirror for when I'm doing this stuff, because y'all are probably tired of looking at this Milani palette. I also did my eyebrows already because I've done my eyebrows like this a million times on my channel. Yeah, 8 months. I just did my shot. Actually, I wanted to go ahead and get it out of the way. Normally I do it later in the day, but sometimes I get so busy on Tuesdays that I run out of time. So I went ahead and did it. Probably not smart because I do need to do my leg day later. But my shot actually went better than it has been. I will say, I've been having more bad shots where, like, there's, like, a little bit of, like, a blood bruise happening, and it's just not been going as well, and I don't know why. It might have to do with my healing process, because, it went better this time, and I started to overreach with my weight training, and I ended up, because of stress from work, it's not like I'm incredibly powerful. I'm still in my beginner phase of training. Not my beginner noob gains, but I'm still a beginner weightlifter, and typically it's not that easy to get severely overtrained when you're small and weak like me, but between the stress of my job and how much I was working out, I actually did end up very, very burnt out, and like I couldn't sleep, my appetite went away, I got really sick, and I never get sick. And yeah, my skin was starting to get really bad, so I had to deload, and now we're back. We're back starting to train hard again, which is exciting. So, anyways, the kind of main product of this look is going to be this neon liquid liner from For Art's Sake Cosmetics. I ordered this last year around Halloween because I really wanted more greens. I had green in my hair. I will say it's not that great. I'll have to do 2 coats at least of every section that I put this on. It's kind of streaky. It's not the best. I know there's some great like UV water activated liners you can get from like Suva's Beauty, I think, and a few different other brands have been doing them. I just wanted something that I didn't have to do that with. I really just wanted a neon green liquid liner, and there are so many green liquid liners out there that just aren't quite bright enough. I was very determined to find one, so I spent money dollars to have this shipped to me, and it didn't turn out that great. But I'm gonna do some lines around my eyebrows first. So filling in the gap, and then doing a slight line that goes underneath a little bit. Oh god, I still need to upload my video talking about the fact that I'm going off Lexapro again. I'm actually doing it with the help of my psychiatrist this time, so we'll see how that goes. I am nervous because I'm pretty sure I've been on it for so long. I've been on it for 7 years. It's going to be rough no matter what. But last time I did it without her supervision and a little too fast. Not so fast that it was dangerous, but fast enough that I had pretty bad serotonin withdrawals, and I literally could not sleep at all. So eventually I gave up. So I will be on 5 milligrams, which 10 milligrams is the lowest therapeutic dose, and the dose that I've been on the majority of the time that I've been on it, because I never wanted to be on much. I'll be on the therapeutic dose for 3 months, at least. Whoa. And even then, I won't completely go off. So let's talk about testosterone, right? 8 months. The past 2 months especially have been insane. Obviously, I'll show you pictures. I have changed quite drastically. It's been amazing. I was hoping it would be like this because I have definitely seen a lot of guys get really, really great results starting around the 6 to 8 month mark. That's when it's really like, oh, all right. So I'm going to do the little dots now. So I want to talk about the good things and the not so good things. And I'm going to do neck up first and then the rest of my body to kind of sandwich these things in together. Now, here's something I want to say. The last time that I posted something about HRT update, someone commented in all caps, groomed, and then a bunch of other comments, and I just fucking blocked them because I don't give a shit. But I know that I dress a way that tends to make people, and testosterone is not helping age me yet. Right now I think it's making me look younger because my face is puffier and covered in acne. I'm gonna be 27 in October. It's August right now. I'm almost 27 years old. Y'all, I'm getting close to my 30s. I was not groomed into being trans. Now, first of all, that rhetoric is so toxic and backwards and stupid, but even if, how was I groomed? I'm a grown-ass man. Like, I'm a grown-ass whatever you consider me to be, since you're the fucking, you know, gender police. I saw that comment and I just busted out laughing. I was like... Anyways, a reminder that I know I dress and my aesthetic might make you assume that I'm younger. I was born in 1996, so there's that. God. Okay. So I'm gonna do 2 larger circles. Yeah. it's a start. So yeah, just so you know, like I really do think the way that people who come across my channel view me has a lot to do with how they interpret my age. And I do think there is this, like, there obviously is this really annoying sort of thing where people really infantilize trans men, especially because they consider them wayward women. And, you know, there's no way that I could possibly know anything about myself. Anyways, so, neck up, good things. Facial hair is nuts. Absolutely nuts. It's all blown out in this lighting, but hopefully I'll have some good pictures for you. I did recently dye my beard, but it's been long enough and I washed my face enough that most of the dye is probably already gone. There might be some still left in it for transparency, but just the fact that, like, I mean, like, even like kind of up in here and stuff, like, it's just everywhere now. It's everywhere. So Octane has 4 dots, and like 2 of them are kind of closer together. See, he's got 2 of them. So I'm gonna kind of try and do that. So the facial hair has been coming in hot and strong, and I love it. But it's kind of a double whammy, and I'll get into that with the kind of, like, less fun things. But that is definitely one of the reasons I am being gendered correctly more. Consistently? No. No. I do still get misgendered, especially on the phone, man. And I'm so happy with my voice. That's another thing, my voice. I do feel like it's dropped a little bit. I have more control of it right now. I'm hoping it will continue to age and drop a little bit more, but I'm super happy with where it's at. I'm gonna fill in the blank circles with green. Ta-da! And while I'm here, you just need a second coat. Oh. Yes. My voice, I love it. I'm so happy with it. If I were to be cut off from testosterone because of legislation or something, I would not be okay. But if for some reason I had to stop, the quality of life change of the voice drop is phenomenal for me. So, also with my face shape has changed a lot. Also a double whammy that I'll get into. But in general, I'm incredibly happy with how square my face has become, how my jaw has filled out. Yeah, I really like all of that. Mental health stuff. This is up here, your brain. I feel very settled. I feel like, you know, now my mental health is stable enough and I'm used to being on testosterone enough that I do feel like I am capable of doing something as serious as coming off of Lexapro and focusing on other things in my life. You know, that's something I said recently where I feel like I can think about other things, worry about other things, put my time and energy into other things now. It's not perfect though. I have always been someone who struggles with just like getting really overwhelmed and overstimulated and just like coming off angry even when I'm not. And I do struggle with anger sometimes, but it's never like violent anger. It's just like like overwhelmed, like just frustrated kind of energy. Especially because I just hate being around people and I'm in retail, so I'm around people all the time and I hate it. And I don't like that I am as grumpy as I am, but it's something that I'm working on. Yeah, so it's just something to work on. And testosterone has definitely increased that. I'm not like roid raging or anything. I'm just slightly grumpier than I was before. I was already a grumpy person. But if anything, I feel like I kind of relate to myself more as a teenager, which makes sense. I'm going through like a second puberty, but I relate to a lot of the emotions I had back then more. And I have less anxiety now, but I'm a little more prone to depressive thinking, which is also why I kind of relate to myself more as a teenager, because I had really bad depression as a teenager, had really bad anxiety once I hit adulthood. So yeah, I just relate to, you know, senior year me sitting in art class, blasting Tool in my ears. Oh, hair stuff. Neutral. I do think my hair is starting to thin a bit, but it's really hard to tell. It probably isn't. If anything, I probably just broke off some hair last time I lightened the front. But my hair might be starting to thin towards the front of my head. It's hard to tell, like I said. But if it is, it's pretty mild. It's also been a long time since I've had my sides this long, so sometimes I'm like, is it thinner here? I don't know, honestly, because it's been so long since I've grown my sides out. I'm trying to get all my hair to like just a shaggy little emo fucking bullshit thing. Which my dedication is incredible to that, because it is consistently over 100 degrees lately where I live. It's awful. It's terrible. And yes, testosterone makes it harder to tolerate that. But I'm hoping that it's going to make winter a lot more fun, because with my eating disorder relapse, winter was hell the past couple of years. Even this past year, because I gained a lot of body fat, but I lost some of it over the winter because I was really broke and stressed out. And I didn't have a lot of muscle on me at all. I had lost so much muscle tone from my eating disorder relapse, and I didn't even see it until I started getting better and until I started weightlifting. Looking back on it, it's like, dude, like, literally, like, the majority of the weight I lost after a certain point was just muscle tone. Like, come on, dummy. Yeah, I'm hoping that the testosterone plus the increased muscle mass will help me be able to go out and do more fun things in the winter, because I love doing that. I always did when I was younger. It's just getting to such a low body percentage of everything, even though I wasn't, like, severely emaciated. It just, like, especially over a chronic period of time and never eating enough calories consistently for, like, 2 years, like, my body was not able to keep itself warm. So I'm hoping that testosterone will also have this benefit of being able to enjoy the cold weather more, because I used to fucking love cold weather. So I'm gonna do my eyes now. They're gonna be big huge wings, and what I like to do is I like to do the outline with my NYX Epic Wear waterproof eyeliner, so that it's really strong and it stays in place. And then, so I don't waste too much of this because it's a little more expensive, I'll fill it in with the e.l.f. liquid eyeliner, and then I'll set it with black eyeshadow. And normally I would do a primer for this because it is a lot of eyeshadow that can crease, but honestly, I'm just filming for my website today, so I don't care. So let's move down, shall we? All of this upper body, I'm gonna include pictures. Like, a lot of it is all the fucking work I've put into it. Of course, I work out really hard, but I also definitely think it's mostly testosterone too that is just been putting in the work. And I described it as, like, being on testosterone feels like the weight redistribution of being on testosterone feels like being a bunch of biscuit batter and being squeezed through a tube. So, like, a bunch of it went up and some of it actually has gone down, which I'll get into as I go down. But the musculature up here I'm so happy with. My neck is starting to look more masculine in my opinion, a little thicker, a little more defined. I don't really have, I don't know, like, that it's more than it was. So yeah, my traps have been coming in, which I've been training them pretty hard, and always working on my shoulders. I think probably overdoing it. So I have been working on reducing my volume, lifting heavier but fewer sets, and really making sure that I try to get good recovery, which is hard as someone who has a stressful job, but I'm trying. So upper body, super happy with. And then I'm super happy with my body hair. That has also continued to. I'm gonna leave a little gap at the bottom because that's where I'm gonna fill in some black eyeshadow. And then let's go ahead and make the big ol' wing. I know about where I like it to end, so My tummy kind of hurts. And it's my fault. I swear to God, every time I take, like, a bath to relax, every single time I'm like, and there's more body hair. It's just, like, spreading out, it's getting thicker, it's darker, it's just continuing to do its thing everywhere. Now, my body fat. I have definitely gained quite a bit of body fat in my tummy, and I've also gained quite a bit in my thighs, which I knew other people who go on testosterone did. I don't know why I didn't think I could possibly, but I've just noticed a lot of people who go on testosterone, especially if they stay on it, sometimes get like really big, strong thighs that are a combination of a lot of muscle, tons of muscle, but also some body fat too. And it's like a lot of the body fat we have up here and around the hips starts to trickle down into the thigh instead. So it has been kind of challenging for my body image because it's just been a while since I've had bigger thighs. Most of the time when my weight has gone up, it has mostly just sat around my hips, which I hate. I definitely hate that way more than having bigger thighs, but because of my eating disorder history, it is still, this far into recovery, hard for me to see certain parts of my body getting bigger and understanding that that doesn't mean that my actual body weight is going up, because literally there have been times where I am convinced that my scale is broken and is lying to me even though it's very new. Like, I literally think that I need to get a new one sometimes because I'm so convinced that there's no way that the recomp, the before and after pictures of like there's only 4 pounds heavier difference between where I am now versus where I was when I first recovered last year is nuts to me. I look entirely different. But I am really starting to like it, and I think it's really coming together and starting to look nice. It's just, honestly, hard on my body image sometimes. But it's all good things, because I remember I heard this when someone was talking about bulking. They were like, you know what's going well when the waistband of like your stuff still kind of fits the same, but you're pushing out of the tops of your shirts and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's what's happening to me. That's definitely what's happening to me. Okay, so this is the difficult part. The top line is very important because it can make your eyes look wider, it can make them look kind of angry, it can make them look kind of droopy and sad. Like, you just want to make sure you get it right. I like to look like I have like these big old weird goth bug eyes. And for me and my face shape, it's important for me to see it from different angles too, because it can look really weird from the side, but really nice head on, and vice versa. So finding a good balance in between the two is important. General body odor is not something I've been struggling too much with. It's different, but it's not too intense, actually. I feel like it didn't change as much for me as it might for other people, but I'm also someone who showers so much. I already was before, but now that I work out, especially, like, I bathe 3 times a day sometimes, which is not good. You kind of aren't supposed to, but your boy is clean, alright? And also, like I said, it has been severely hot lately, so I do be getting sweaty. But I feel like, truly after about, like, 4 months, all the hot flashes and stuff, they've completely gone away. I haven't gotten any hot flashes at all, and I feel pretty comfortable. My neighbor's kids are going crazy as always. Alright, let's get into some more juicy stuff, okay? Now, I'm going to be talking about the health of the downstairs area, and also updates on that area in general. So if you don't want to hear about that, if you just don't want to hear about that kind of thing from me, or if that could be dysphoria inducing for you, skip this part. Maybe just tune in for the final makeup look. I also want to say that this is all stuff that, you know, I started kind of like casually researching this stuff when I was like 15, and more intensely researching this stuff when I was 19. Like I said, I'm 26, about to be 27. I already knew all of these things were a thing. I already knew some of the more negative side effects. Now, first off, actually, let me go back up to my face and start off with that, actually. We'll come back to the juicy bits, sorry. My acne is pretty rough, and it hurts. My pores are very irritable and congested. I don't know, I'm still nervous about adding even more stuff to my repertoire. The benzoyl peroxide, the acne foaming cream cleanser, whatever, from CeraVe has been helping a lot. It is so much better than it was before, but that plus like training really hard and eating the sources of protein that work for me, which some of them probably don't work for my skin, unfortunately. All of that together, my skin's just kind of going through it, you know? And I will say, between that and having facial hair that's still growing in, still pretty patchy, not always the cutest, I feel kind of rough and grimy sometimes. You know, obviously I really like to put a lot of effort into my appearance whenever I have time. I like to have super off lazy days where I have no eyebrows and I'm just like a little gremlin in PJs. Love that look, but generally, especially like as someone who works in the public, I'm also aware of how people treat me when I look like that versus when I'm all made up and cute. I like to look really polished, especially for a day where I have stuff to do, where I'm out at work and stuff. Like, I like to look nice. It makes me feel good to look nice. I love looking nice and then coming home and getting undone and looking very, very, very casual. But the satisfaction comes from being, like, looking so nice and then coming home and then not looking so nice, you know? But especially because of the way my current position at my job is, and what they've been needing from me, I am often at work at 7 a.m. And as someone who naturally was a night owl, and I've managed to consistently start going to bed at like 10, 11. But I'm also someone who needs a lot of sleep, not only for my mental health, but as someone who's weightlifting, sleeping is very important to help you build muscle. All of that together means that I'm not going to get up and look super nice most of the time. And having really bad acne and facial hair that's patchy and still growing in, and it's not patchy enough for me to shave any of it. I have these weird little cheek patches, but they're symmetrical and they're very filled in, and I'm kind of attached to them. I can't get myself to remove them, even though when I started tea, I was like, alright, if you have shitty facial hair, you're gonna shave that off. And it's not that simple when you finally get your own facial hair, dude. Like, there's a reason why so many people, like, rock their baby beards. Like, it's hard to get rid of it. Also, I don't want to deal with the skin concerns of shaving my face that's already breaking out a ton and dealing with stuff. But yeah, like, adding hair removal on top of, like, acneic skin, oh my god, sounds like a whole thing. So, oh my god, my neighbor's children. But between those two things, sometimes I feel like I look really rough, and it has affected my self-esteem a bit, especially when I'm at work and I definitely didn't have time to put on, like, foundation and stuff, and I just have, like, scabs on my face. It's not always, the most confidence-inducing thing, especially when it's also, like, painful on top of it. So it's not been, like, absolutely, like, horribly detrimental to my self-esteem or anything. For the most part, it's really, really counteracted by how amazing I feel in my clothes. Like, I feel like I've really been starting to really come into my clothes and stuff, and how strong I feel when I work out, and how hot I feel in other ways, like, it's definitely absolutely worth it, but it is something to be of note. Even though I am not a severe case of acne on testosterone, I feel like mine's pretty standard for most guys, honestly. It's not very cystic or anything like that. It still affected my self-esteem, honestly. So, there's that. But I have also been taking more time to go to bed a little bit earlier, or even be willing to wake up a little bit earlier and maybe go lighter on my workout later that day if I need to, in order to put a little more effort into my appearance, since that is something that obviously I like to do. So just try to find a balance of, you know, in general, being someone who's like really into beauty and also like working out is like expensive for one. But alright, I'm going to fill in all of this with some black eyeshadow, and just a easy packing brush. I really like the black eyeshadow from this Juvia's Warrior 2 palette. So let's go back down, shall we? So, bottom stuff. My bottom growth has continued and is amazing. I will say can I say this? Like the skin texture of the main area of interest, that eventually resembles, you know, maybe a very, very tiny what a guy would naturally be born with. I feel like the skin texture has changed and feels more like that. And I think it's the skin like kind of gets a little bit thicker. It's like more velvety, and I'm feeling it. It's amazing. So yeah, that has continued. It's nothing, I feel like it's actually really steady. It's not been a crazy growth spurt at any point, but it's just like steadily getting better and better, and I love it. Now let's get into some not so fun things. So, little lesson for you. That area is used to having a certain amount of estrogen, you know, hormonally, to maintain its balance and to maintain its health. When you go on testosterone, especially long term, you typically are not going to be getting as much estrogen in that area. What this can lead to is atrophy, which can cause long-term issues, it can be mitigated by quite a few different things. Some people end up doing creams and stuff like that. Some people really swear by using the like NuvaRing type birth control, and some people sometimes do have enough complications that they decide to do some form of bottom surgery just to mitigate all of that, even if they weren't necessarily planning on it originally. I already knew all these things going into this. So, originally, I was on the NuvaRing birth control, 1, as a form of birth control, and 2, because I knew that it can help prevent some vaginal atrophy. And, sorry, I'm trying to avoid using the word vagina, because that even makes me a little bit dysphoric. Being a sex worker and also being on T has been very annoying, because I've found out the hard way what kind of language people use to describe my body parts on my posts and stuff that makes me uncomfortable, but they're giving me money, so I don't want to say anything, but I'm also like, please don't call it that. Yeah. So, I already knew all this was a thing, and I was originally on NuvaRing. I stopped because I was still having period symptoms, and NuvaRing did to me what some birth control does to a lot of people, where I never had a full period, but I was spotting basically always, which was a lot more dysphoria-inducing than my typical periods, which were literally just 3 days and then I'm done. So even when I would let myself have periods, I would take it out for a few days, have a period, put it back in, I was still experiencing the spotting. So I started to get so dysphoric and frustrated with it, and I was also stressed out and worried about other things, that I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna stop taking it. And I decided that if I started to have any symptoms of atrophy or anything like that, that I would go back on it, but that I kind of don't, I've been hesitant with any sort of birth control, because I mostly date people with penises, mostly date people who identify as men as well. I'm very gay. I'm 100%. I'm bisexual. But also, women, and also other non-binary people as well, just don't date me much. I don't know why. I think I'm intimidating because I'm high femme. And a lot of us also, because I include myself as a femme at the end of the day. Like, I mean, partially. I'm just going to do a green line on top. Especially if we were socialized as female, we tend to not be the best at hitting each other up. So, I'm definitely not. And if they aren't, then basically we have one conversation on a dating app and never hear anything else of it. That is the extent of how I got, like, what was it, 2 years ago? I went on a date with a girl a couple times. That was awesome. It didn't work out, but she was really cool. What was I gonna say? So I knew all this could happen. Another thing that can happen from atrophy is really annoying. And basically, because you don't have the normal hormones you would have and stuff, you can start to get chronic infections, repeated infections. Typically, it's going to be something like bacterial vaginosis and or yeast infections, or possibly UTIs, but I mostly hear the first one in regards to vaginal atrophy. Most of the time I hear UTIs in regards to people who actually have bottom surgery that maybe didn't go 100% correct and they might have to have revisions. Excuse me. So, in general, I smell different. I will say that. And at times, especially with being someone who works out and lives somewhere that's really hot, sometimes I'm like, Jesus, it's time for a shower. And not just because of my pits, if you know what I'm saying. But last month, I noticed that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and get clean and stuff. It just kind of kept getting worse. And, eventually, I was like, I know this. Because I'm someone who used to get BV a lot from new partners. Basically, their, like, microbiome downstairs would fuck up my microbiome even if they were really clean people. I'm someone who has been prone to that in the past, which did make me concerned that maybe this would become an issue for me on testosterone, and I went into this full well knowing it, not complaining. But yeah, I was like, I know what this is, and I was like, bitch, I do not want to go back to the doctor for this. I've already been to the doctor a lot lately. Not really, actually, for me, because I never go because I'm weirdly healthy. But yeah, I was like, I don't want to spend money, even a copay, on, like, going somewhere when I know what this is, and every time I go, they're like, why didn't you try boric acid? Because it sounds scary. So, last month, I did. I got some boric acid suppositories, Azo brand, and did the deed. So for a week, I took my little suppositories every night. Very annoying, by the way, because it makes you kind of flush out your system. So, like, I went through clothes so much, but I was nervous. I was a little scared, especially when I read, like, you know, the label and the possible side effects and shit. And I was like, oh. I had literally no side effects. It was fine, and it worked. It went away. And I was really happy and excited. I was like, sweet, I fixed it myself. And I remember around that time, I was like, okay, I was really busy. Specifically, I had a pattern where I didn't have time to shower before I went to work. I showered the night before because I knew I wouldn't. So I would not shower in the morning. Then I'd go to work, come home and work out, and then shower again, which is a lot of grossness, especially with the hot weather. And I was like, okay, I think it was just my fault. You know, I'll just have to make sure to be super extra clean. And that's coming from someone who, honestly, whenever I see the habits of most people my age, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I am way more finicky about hygiene than most. So I'll just have to be even more finicky. Word. I love being in water, so that's why I bathe so much, honestly. Well, I've started to get those symptoms again. It's been about a month. I'm watching it, and luckily, next week I will actually be having my 6-month appointment update, actually, because my 3-month checkup ended up being kind of late because I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to go on shot day. I needed to go the day before, which is why I moved shot day to Tuesdays. I'll go on Tuesday, get my blood drawn, and then take my shot when I come home. I'm going to add another green line right on top of these. Wait, should I do under? Oh, over. Oh, there's a hair. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I've been just really on top of my hygiene the past couple days, and it does seem to be a little better. Maybe I can catch it early. If it continues to bother me, I'll do another suppository round. But it might be time to revisit the NuvaRing thing, because the reason why I've been hesitant to decide on a birth control is because I want a hysterectomy. I don't fucking want kids. Never did. I genuinely, really can't stand them. People don't... Once again, bringing it up, I'm pretty sure I'm autistic. The visceral sort of, you are making so much noise, I would do literally anything to stop you. Shut up. I want you to be fine. I want you to be happy. I want you to be smiling and thriving, and you deserve a great life just like every child, and I hate that any child ever goes through strife. Blah, blah, blah. Protect the children, but also protect them away from me. I don't like being around you. Yeah, and I have consistently known that I never wanted to, especially bear my own children, but probably not even raise them, since I was 10. And I've never gone back on that. But my insurance definitely does not cover hysterectomies unless they are an emergency. And like I already admitted, I actually have very healthy periods and a very healthy uterus. Fucking take it from me then. Someone else. I don't need it. I'm not going to use it. It's a waste of space in me. It's a waste of money having to stress about making sure that it doesn't get a little, unintended passenger. So, a lot of times they really push you to get some sort of more long-term thing like Depo or even an IUD if you're on testosterone, and I'm just I would like something real permanent though, actually. And also I have heard some people get better symptoms when it comes to atrophy and stuff if they get a histo. Sometimes it can improve those symptoms a bit. But it looks like I might have to... And that's the thing, is you can come off it pretty... I've been off and on NuvaRing for a year now. I keep starting it and then quitting it. And it is just even though it's only local estrogen, it does just feel like a lot of hormones to be on. And it's not dangerous or anything like that. Plenty of people do it, but it's just a lot, and if you don't have to do it, then don't do it. But that's kind of the good, the bad, the ugly. Kind of fighting with my downstairs health a little bit. And maybe this is just going to be an issue I deal with in the summer because of the heat, because of sweat, because of increased sweat production and stuff like that. Maybe this won't be something I run into in the winter. I'm just doing some highlights right now. But that's that. Like I said, I have had quite a bit of growth to my quads. Now, granted, I've been taking leg day a lot more seriously, and also fixed some very incorrect exercise movements that I didn't realize I was fucking up. Which is probably all of them, if we're being honest, since I work out at home. Still don't have a gym membership. Still don't want to go. But, there is also some fat movement down there. Tis what it is. And I think I'll feel very sexy about it eventually, especially as a bottom. But I do feel a little bit just shy about it. I'm a little shy about it because my butt's gotten bigger too. Once again, I'm doing my lower body exercises correctly now, so that's mostly it, but I feel a little bit shy about it. Sometimes I put on my pants and I'm like, you need to put that thing away. No, it's okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure all of this is symmetrical in the mirror in the bathroom, finish up my lower face, and probably come back and just, finish all this stuff up and give you some closing thoughts. Yeah. I returned with much larger hair. This wig is so rough and so cheap, but I tried to fix it this morning and I think it'll work for photos at least. It's just from Amazon if you're wondering. But yes, this is the outfit. I've got this thrifted fishnet green dress. It goes down pretty far. I've got this Trip PVC top, Trip MIC. This, I think this is from Nasty Gal. It's a PVC skirt, looking like a ham in multiple ways right now. And then these gloves are actually from a cosplay, really expensive, like, fucking hentai cosplay that I got. And I just threw some chains on them. My lashes are the ones that normally have white on the tips of them, and I just covered it with the green eyeliner, same green eyeliner. And I'm going to top this off with the Essence, like, fun, sparkly PH lip stick. I finally got this. I've always thought it was so cute. But yeah, it just kind of adjusts to your own pH to be like a pink. It'll just be a pink. It's nothing exciting. But I love the sparkles that are built into it. I just look at it and it makes me happy. That's why I'm wearing it. Something else I was gonna say is, like, with my facial hair and stuff, it's definitely confusing with my more high femme costumey looks about, like, what I want to do with it. I have caught myself, like, editing out these cheek patches. They're really, they're obvious. Like, that's facial hair and it's not connected to, like, my mustache area yet. So I have been using, like, a blur tool in some of my photo editing apps, which I really, just in general, and I'm glad I've stuck to this, especially as, like, a sex worker and stuff, I really try to never edit my photos unless it's, like, a giant swollen zit. And at times I've even, like, really forced myself to post my photos even with my acne being really visible through my makeup, because it's just good to stay sane, and it's good for other people to see it, so that feels good, but it's also good for you. Like, I'm glad that I never got into, like, you know, like, editing my facial features and making them look different or anything, but I have caught myself, like, blurring out the cheek patches, because I think sometimes, especially from photos farther away, I just have, like, a weird gray spot on my face. So, it has been a little bit, like, feeling a little mixed feelings about it, but I just, like, I just feel like my facial hair has been spreading farther back and farther down my chin so quick that, like, I just don't want to get rid of it in case it fills out soon. Also, if you're confused as to why I look like this and I'm transitioning, clothes don't have a gender, and I grew up with stuff like this and I don't want to give it up. And also, this is just me dressing up. I have plenty of masculine looks these days, which I will probably mostly be in masculine mode. You'll see that in my photos. But this is what I do for content and stuff, and for fun. I go out just like this sometimes. But yes, don't ever talk to me on my son ever again. Something else that I forgot to mention, which has what I was going to get into, my face shape. In general, I have terrible genetics for this. Basically, I have a little double chin. You can see it. There she is. I have to be medically underweight to not have that. I found that out the hard way because I have severe body dysmorphia about it. And I obsess about it. Not so much anymore, because I'm really trying to fucking grow up about it and acknowledge that I have a very Russian family, very Russian, very German, and especially as we age, we just have these big, blocky, square faces with a baby square underneath, and that's just how we're built, and it's only gonna get worse from here, so I might as well enjoy it while it's not too bad. And I did notice that a lot of people that I saw go on testosterone, sometimes if they also had the genetics for that, sometimes it gets bigger. It's a more pronounced kind of thing, and I also have noticed that with my family members. So yeah, it's gotten a little bigger, and also the thing with my facial hair is I have this nice bit right here on the chin, and there's more that's growing back, but there's kind of a gap right around the crease of that double chin area, and I'm not gonna lie, there's been a couple times I've caught, like, videos or photos of myself from the side, and I've almost cried, because I feel really ugly about it, but it's so tiny in the grand scheme of things. It really, really is. Like, there's so many better things to think about in the world than shit like that, so. And I've just been like, dude, like, you were gonna have to deal with it either way, regardless of whether it's in a more masculine or feminine shape, regardless of everything genetically. I have found out the hard way that now that I'm an adult, I will have this glob under my chin unless I get surgery or unless I am unhealthily lean. So, and I'm not interested in being unhealthily lean. Right now, I'm very stable at my current weight, but eventually I will probably want to gain some. Look at that. It's all pink now. I'm probably another like 10 to 15 pounds away from where I'd like to be, actually. Most of that I want it to be muscle, but it can be some body fat too. But, I do struggle with my appetite a lot, so I don't know if that'll ever be. I'll probably always be a smaller guy, but we trying. We really pounding that protein. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, obviously as per usual, I come with the promise of I will, you know, keep track of my comments, and, you know, if anyone had anything, you know, like any sort of intelligent point to make, you know, I'd keep the comments, but if you're not even gonna try, I'd keep the comment here. Is that everything? I've not been practicing singing enough, I will say that. My singing voice is rough. I have a very narrow range that I can sing in. I just haven't been practicing enough. I should do an updated singing video soon. I should get some practice in now that I'm trying to kind of focus more on myself in a healthier way. Cool. I'm gonna go be gay on camera. Catch me if you can. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, my goggles, they're from Amazon. Okay, bye.